My sister-in-law banned me from their house, then my brother caught her cheating.
Oh, no.
My 29 brother and I are really close. We had some trauma from our mom during our childhood, and we've just grown closer because of it. Our dad lives within 30 minutes of both of us, but we live only 4 minutes from each other. By the way, this comes from Big Yak 5700, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, when I was 21, I found out I couldn't have kids. It was difficult for me to hear, but I managed to get over it. I have a few mental health conditions that mean I'm not able to work. Luckily, I'm the one in the family with all the health problems because my brother met his wife when they were 17.
What is that? That's not lucky. Luckily, I have all the health problems. My brother met his girl at 17.
But luckily, I have the health problems. They were married by 21 and now have 2 wonderful children, both of whom I absolutely adore. When they were born, I was the first person to meet them. Since we don't have a mom, I was my brother's mom figure growing up, so I think he kind of looks at me like a mom and sister. I don't have a problem with that at all. It's just the way we've always managed. When they were born, he called me and I met them at the hospital and was there for his wife whenever she needed. The 2 kids are wonderful, and I love them so much. Being as I couldn't have my own kids, it was nice to see what they might have looked like. As I lived so close and was pretty much always free, I always babysat. My brother and his wife loved that, and I also loved it. I'm always around their house. I've noticed that in the past few months, I've been there almost all day, every day. I don't mind that at all. But sometimes I worry that I might be overtaking their life a little. I had a chat with both of them and told them that at any point they wanted me gone, they just needed to say so. I didn't want to overstay my welcome. They both told me not to be silly and said they wouldn't care if I camped in their kitchen.
Wow. All right. I'm getting my thermos. I'm getting some sterno.
You setting up a tent.
I'm building a
in the
big
kitchen.
2-story tent, building a campfire. Don't tell me to camp in the kitchen.
Because he will. A few weeks went by since that chat, and in the last week or 2, she has been a bit off with me. It started with a conversation about a funny moment in our childhood. My brother and I were laughing so hard, and his wife just stood staring at me before rolling her eyes. I asked if she was okay, and she said she was sick of being part of a conversation that didn't concern her. She said she couldn't relate to it, so it wasn't fair that we kept doing it. I apologized and said I thought it would just be funny for her to hear, but I'd be more mindful in the future.
Nah, don't be more mindful. That's whack.
That is crazy.
That is whack behavior.
And also, like, as a wife, are you not, like, kind of interested about your partner's childhood a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. She's
I love hearing about my partner's childhood.
But it's so unrelatable to you, Carly. You weren't there.
So true.
So you shouldn't care. You should actually be
But,
really
like,
upset.
That's the whole point, is, like, I wasn't there, so I want to know. Maybe,
Nope.
Maybe I'm just too curious, guys. Sue me.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was another moment when I came around and brought their kids some chocolate buttons. Since my brother's wife was at work, I asked my brother if it was okay for them to have them. He said it was fine. Then his wife came home 10 to 15 minutes later and went ballistic at me for feeding them sugar. She told me that in the future, I needed to call both of them, my brother and his wife, if I wanted to come around, not just him. I apologized and left. There have been loads of moments like this, but the most recent and aggravating one was yesterday. I had been Christmas shopping at a nearby outlet and brought some fresh cookies for all 4 of them. I got myself a box, and I normally do this when I go there.
If that happens to you and, like, your brother's wife is like, you need to call both of us before you come over here, I'd be like, all right, sick. I'm not coming over ever anymore. I'm not saying that, but I'm thinking it. And I'm calling my brother and being like, hey, just so you know, your wife has made me feel extremely unwelcome in your home, and I don't feel comfortable coming over anymore. So you might want to talk to her about that.
Yeah, that's weird. I stopped at the gas station to call them both. My brother said it was fine, and the kids were excited to see me. I called his wife, no answer. Called again, no answer. I messaged her and she read it but didn't reply.
Yeah, so at this point, you just go because you can't do that. You can't demand someone talk to you and then ignore them when they try.
I decided to just stop by, not go inside, just drop the cookies at the door so as not to aggravate anything. These cookies were fresh and warm, and I didn't want to bring them home because they wouldn't taste as good later. I knocked, handed the cookies to my brother, gave the kids a quick hug, and left. About an hour later, I got a message from his wife saying, "How effing dare you come to my house when I've made it very clear you're not welcome unless I've said so. It's effing weird how you constantly come around to talk to my husband, sitting there giving him the eye while you're talking. He's married, and those are my effing kids that you're constantly playing with. Mine. This is the last straw, and I'd like if you just stayed away from us now. We don't want to see you at Christmas."
Hey, Dum Dum, I'm his sister. Hey, Dum Dum, I'm his sister.
You think that she's giving eyes to her brother?
Oh, no. Oh, I like my brother because he's my brother.
No.
But you think I want to steal your
You
husband?
think I want to marry my brother?
What is wrong? Oh, no.
I didn't really know what to do. So I just messaged my brother and told him to have a chat with her because there must have been a misunderstanding somewhere. I told him I'd like to clear it up because he's my brother, and those are my niece and nephew, who I love very much and don't want to never see again. Since then, I've been bombarded with calls and messages from her and her friends saying that I'm going to cause a divorce, that I'm wrecking their marriage, and that I shouldn't have got my brother involved. Commenter 1, I am the older sister of 2 brothers. If any woman they were dating treated me like that, they'd immediately tell her to step outside, shut the door in her face, and then we'd go eat the cookies. Commenter 2, not the a-hole. If I was your brother, I would want to know if my wife was accusing my sister of having genetic copy pasting type feelings. Because who else is she spreading this to? Take away all that, and she's controlling which of his family members are allowed in his own house. Either way you chop it, slice it, she's out of line. And we have an update. What do you think?
I agree with all that.
Yeah.
And she is out of line. And it's crazy that, I'm sure she's going all ballistic with brother as well. And being like, I can't believe that you don't say the truth. And brother's just like, I just want to have a normal life, please.
I just wanted the cookies.
I just want to have a wife and my children.
I just wanted the fresh baked cookies.
And I want my sister to be able to give me cookies, please.
Update. I thought I'd give an update to clear some things up. Some people were questioning why I was there all day, every day, and that could have been the problem because I was invading their life. First of all, in our family, growing up, we would visit nearby family, only one set of grandparents, daily for an hour. That's what this started as. When my brother and his girlfriend first met, it was like this, as I'd already moved away. They used to visit me for an hour each day, and I'd get some bits to eat and some drinks. Sometimes when my brother was on work trips, she would come around on her own and we'd have a girls' night. When my niece and nephew were born, I stopped going around, only once a week, because I thought that 2 newborns were already a lot. But they called me after a couple weeks asking where I was, saying they missed me, and my sister-in-law was messaging me, sending pictures of the kids, and telling me they missed me. So I started going around for an hour each day again. Over the last year, every time I'd go to leave, one of them, sister-in-law included, would say, "What? No, stay for dinner," or, "Aw, how could you leave this face?" while holding up a kid. So I'd end up staying. I was there all day, every day because of them, not for me. I didn't have a problem with it, since I don't do much at home anyway, but still, I'd like to go home and relax. It didn't matter though, because I love my niece and nephew a lot. I sent my brother the screenshot of the text and told him that he needed to talk to her. Now I feel awful because I feel like I'm responsible for the outcome of this. They had a chat, and apparently when the kids were younger and I was there a lot, they built an attachment to me that's stronger than with her. She wasn't bothered by it because she was cheating on my brother with a work colleague.
Excuse me, hello, hi, you're the worst, and I don't like you.
And by the way, I'd really like it if you went and listened to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search up OK Storytime. We have a little bit left. But what a turn at the end of the story.
Oh my goodness. She's a stinky little lady. So
Just a stinky little lady who hates cookies.
she probably became a much stinkier little lady after she started cheating on her husband.
Wow.
And she became very stinky.
Stinky.
You cannot
cocoon.
contain the stink.
No, the stench radiates. But now he's moved away, and she no longer has the side piece to help her ignore that. She's been trying to ignore the fact that the kids like me better. But apparently last week at bedtime, her kids asked where I was and said they missed me when I read stories, and it just made her flip. My brother told her she'd have to deal with the fact that I'm in their life and that I'm his sister, but he's also not sure if he wants to stay with her at all after finding out she was cheating.
Unbelievable wrinkle after, like, she cheated on him and is now looking at his own sister as a potential threat to their...
Right.
It's like, girl, you are the danger. You
made
are the threat.
You made the whole threat. I'm obviously staying away for a while now so they can sort it out, but I think my brother is leaning towards a divorce, and now I just feel awful, and that is the end of that story.
My brother is crazy about my pregnancy. Now he'll never meet my baby.
Is he having the baby?
No, he's just crazy for it.
Eh.
For context, I, female 19, am living at home with my mother and younger brothers while my partner, male 22, is securing a new job and looking for a house for us in a new town further west. By the way, this comes from user Panic and Confusion. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give you good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so tell us what you would do in the comments. NOP says... I got pregnant around early February despite being on regular birth control after a wiener wrapper broke during a family holiday, a completely unplanned pregnancy. Despite this, we're both very excited to welcome our baby into the world. We've always planned on having kids, just definitely not this soon. My youngest brother, 13, is the golden child who gets away with anything and everything, including his overbearingly bad behavior. We've always butted heads to the point where my other younger brother has had to step in. There have even been times where I've had to lock myself in the bathroom just to get away from him because he keeps following me around, talking at me to prove his point in an argument. He's even caused me several mental breakdowns by triggering my PTSD about our now estranged father. But he has been really improving lately, going to regular psychology appointments, being eerily kind towards me, and even helping me with things around the house. Actually making a real effort to fix our relationship and be kinder in general. Things were really looking up, and we even spent a lot of time together during the family holiday and had lots of fun. He hadn't had a single outburst for months or caused any fights between us. I truly thought we were finally going to get along. That is, until he found out I'm pregnant. Silly me for thinking things could really change, right? He's been a downright nasty, true little monster. Constantly, he's stirring things up against me. He doesn't miss a chance to remind me how irresponsible I am for getting myself knocked up. Every time I ask for space or for him to stop doing something he's purposely doing to irritate me, he retorts back with stuff like, I can do what I want. I live here. It's not my fault you got yourself pregnant before getting a house. He constantly points out how I've sinned by having spicy sleep before marriage, and my pregnancy wouldn't have to be everyone else's problem if I had just waited. We all grew up super religious, but these days my mother could care less about such arbitrary rules and is actually excited for a grandbaby. It's our grandmother who's strict about religion. Honestly, advice right off the bat, literally completely ignore this kid. Just refuse to engage.
I immediately, and maybe it's just the way that the voice that you were giving him, got the vibes from Finding Nemo of that one fish that's like, I'm obnoxious.
Yeah. He's obnoxious on purpose. So just don't engage. It's not satisfying when there's no engagement. I've been trying to be patient with him, thinking maybe he's just feeling jealous that he won't be the youngest in our family and won't get all our mother's attention anymore, which is probably true. Despite all of his little comments and attempts at getting me to start fights with him and purposely doing things to agitate me, I've remained as calm as possible and simply removed myself from the situations for both my own peace of mind and to not disturb the strained functionality of the household. But the other day, when I was talking to our other brother about what gender my baby might be, and name ideas my partner had thought of, he outright told me something rude about my baby. At this, I finally lost it. Like, how dare he insult my child like that? Insult me all you want, sure thing. I can deal with that until I get to move out. But to insult my unborn child just because you're feeling insecure or something? No way, buddy. I screamed at him, telling him I'm sick and tired of how unfair he's been towards me lately. And guess what? Now he's gonna know to always make fun of the baby. Because that's what makes you upset.
I wonder, though, if he'll actually be a little bit taken aback that she even yelled back. It could kind of go either way. Like, if she was scary enough, he might stop. But if not, he's also, like, found the breaking point.
I feel like it's gotta be.
Let's
find out.
Sometimes people that don't get mad, though, when you see them mad, you're like, oh.
Let's find out. We got into a huge fight, and he tried to threaten me. I brought up stuff he had done to me before he started going to therapy and how I wasn't afraid to call the cops on a kid if I had to. He continued screaming back at me, at which point I pushed him away to create some distance. I can't let you get close. I've never defended myself before. He was shocked, speechless, eyes wide, mouth finally shut. I took the opportunity to shove him away so I could get out from between him and the wall and stated firmly, when I moved out, I'm not letting you have anything to do with me or my child. You will never be allowed to see it or go near it ever. Do you understand me? And I left the house to get some fresh air. Of course, when Mom got home from the grocery shopping, my little brother immediately went and cried to her and told her all about it. An exaggerated version for sure. And he had everything to prove his sob story. My mom rings me up, yelling and cussing at me and telling me I need to be the bigger person.
Okay, wait, what proof did he have?
My feelings, you can see them, they're so hurt. My feelings are so hurt, my teardrops, they fall. She's so mean to me. She said, I will always make you the stinky man. I don't know.
Add to that one.
I don't know what proof he had. I tried to explain my side of the story, but she was having none of it. Crazy your mom's yelling at you, the pregnant one.
Also crazy that mom, who knows that brother has had these problems in the past, isn't like, oh yeah, that's your brother.
Well, it needs to be like, just because someone has behavioral issues doesn't mean they're excused from their behavior.
I just meant like that she's immediately believing you because that's what your brother's done before.
Yeah. She told me that it was no excuse and I had no right to fight her precious little baby, even if he was being a prisk. She told me what I had said was going way too far and that my brother would be having contact with my child, regardless of how I felt about him or what he'd done in the past. That if she was going to be in my child's life, then he would be too. And I had no say in the matter because he would be a good uncle and deserves a relationship with his niece or nephew. She then went on a whole guilt trip reminding me how much my brother has been trying so hard to better himself with therapy and helping out with the community through the youth center at the local church. How well we were getting along on holiday and how much he's been helping her out lately. And then basically told me I was overreacting about everything because of pregnancy hormones and I'd get over it all once the baby was born. I scoffed and told her plain and simple I was not ever letting the Satan spawn near my child. Then I hung up. Well, she's been sour with me for days and even started making her own underhanded comments towards me now. She makes me feel bad for what I said and trying to make me apologize to my brother. She says I'm being unfair and a witch. So guys, am I a witch for finally standing up for myself and standing my ground on not letting my brother have contact when I move out and the baby is born? And there is an update. I think like if we take a breath and just say, hey, I'm not letting you have any contact until you change the way you act with me.
Yeah, I think that moving out could still be a good idea to get that distance if you can move out. And then, like, reassessing as things go.
100%. Because he's still 13. 13 in therapy with behavioral problems.
Yeah, but he definitely needs to, like, not be threatening me and my child before he can see the child.
There needs to be tangible changes to the behavior, and then you can see me and the baby and be around us. My partner went no contact with his awful parents, and his family disowned him because of this. So no, I can't stay with them. I have no other family I can stay with. My grandmother's place was destroyed in the recent floods. I'm no contact with my father and have no idea where he is. I have no friends in the state that I can stay with. My partner is staying with the guy he met in high school that lives in the town we're moving to. It's a studio apartment, and he's sleeping on the couch. They don't know each other all that well, and I don't know the guy at all. The women's shelter in my town is run by the church that my brother attends and volunteers for. Everyone at church believes he's a saint, and I don't trust them to keep him away from me. Well, it might be good if you go to the shelter, and then people will see, oh, this guy is treating his sister like garbage.
Yeah.
I sustained a serious shoulder injury at work a few months back, and my pregnancy is considered high risk. Even if I wanted to work, I'm literally not allowed to. We are currently trying to move out, and my midwives are aware of the situation. They've taken down notes, and that's about it. I live in Australia. We have Centrelink, so I'm not completely without income. On top of this, I've got workers' comp for the shoulder injury. I'm also indigenous, so I get a little extra. Free healthcare, all antenatal and ultrasound appointments, and other doctor visits are paid for by the government. Also, all hospital bills are covered by Medicare, and I have AITA, so I get free therapy and support aids. Money is not a big concern right now. Yes, I plan on going back to work once we're settled into the new house, and I'm medically cleared to do so. I really don't want to have to rely on Centrelink forever. It makes me feel gross. By the way, it's never gross to listen to full episodes of stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform. Just search OK Storytime on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen, and you can hear all the juicy little goodies we got there for you.
It's true.
I don't know what to do, sweetie. That's hard. That's a real hard situation to be in. I might just go to the shelter if I've got nowhere else to go, or try to just figure it out at home. I know it's hard to forgive.
I still think you got to get out of the house. I think
that's the
going to
plan.
be causing a lot of tensions.
I know that you are justified in being upset, but I think just being like, hey, I'm sorry everything has happened the way it has. This is hard on all of us. Just kind of, because in life there come moments always where you will have to swallow your feelings and your pride and have to say and make decisions for the greater peace of a given situation.
That's fine and dandy and all.
Yeah. I will be going no contact with little brother, and after all that has happened, I've also decided to go very low contact with mom as soon as I'm able to move out and have a secure living arrangement. My partner is aware of the situation. He wants to file police reports with evidence that we do have against my brother. He promised not to do anything until I'm moved out and safe first, in case little brother tries to retaliate. And that is the end of that story.
My ex's wife caused wedding drama, and my cousin blamed me for it.
Well, that's because it's your ex's wife. You should have never broken up.
In uni, I had a very brief sort of relationship with a guy on my course. I ended it because I felt like I needed to learn independence. I've never lived on my own. My mom and dad coddled me and paid for my expenses, cooked for me, did my laundry, etc. By the way, this comes from And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
My name is Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says,
Pointers.
He was looking to settle down, and I really wasn't. I wanted to learn to be on my own for a bit, and he wanted to marry someone he could take care of. We went our separate ways, finished uni, got jobs, etc. My cousin got married the other day. This guy that I was previously talking to attended with his wife. She also attended our uni and was on the same course. I wasn't really fussed by seeing them. They've clearly moved on, and I'm loving life right now, having that independence I've been wanting. It's all chill until his wife comes up to our table. She asked me why she didn't see me at graduation. For context, I didn't attend our graduation ceremony because both my grandmothers had passed away and it was their funeral. Oh my God.
Yeah, so extremely valid reason to not be there.
I didn't really care about missing graduation because I've got horrible social anxiety anyway, and the thought of being seen by that many people freaked me out. She asked about my career. I told her that I'm in teaching now, and I love it. Small pleasantries, you get it. But she randomly veered the conversation in different direction. She's like, my husband doesn't care about you anymore. I wasn't bothered at all because over the few years since we were together, I started to see just how toxic he was. He was controlling and he wanted me to ask his permission before seeing my own friends. I was not looking to start an argument at my cousin's wedding, so I walked away from them and sat at my other cousin's table. I don't know how, but she found me again at some other point of the reception and it got weird. She was saying things like, "You are so jealous of us. You skipped graduation because you didn't want to see us together." I didn't even know they were together.
I freaking knew it. I freaking knew she was going to say that.
Yeah. I didn't bother explaining myself. It would have been pointless as she'd already made up her mind about me. I just nodded along as she ranted to me. But as you'd expect, it started to take attention away from the wedding. I decided it would probably be best to go home, so I gave my gifts and left. But my cousin messaged me a few days later, angry at me for starting fights at the wedding. I told her I wasn't looking for any fights, and that girl had approached me every single time. She told me it was my fault for leading him on in the first place. I explained it was a very long time ago. I was only 19 at the time, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life, let alone commit to marrying a guy.
So, no, this is, I bet you the cousin is saying that because she's marrying, like, the first person she ever dated. Because what does she mean when she say, leading him on like that? We dated. We broke up.
Dating a man for a little bit and then being like, "Hey, I changed my mind. I'm not interested."
Yeah.
It's not leading a man on.
I wouldn't like to live in your
dating
dungeon where you give me crackers and milk every day and that's it. Crackers and milk and you better like it.
Am I being dumb or is this actually my fault? Did I ruin the wedding? There's more I want to include, but this post is limited. And we have the verdict, which is obviously not the a-hole. But before we get into some comments, any thoughts?
No, as soon as I heard that she walked up to you that first time, I knew that's exactly why she did it.
She immediately probably saw you and was like, "I'm going to go up there and show her." It's like, no, you were minding your own business at your cousin's wedding.
I know you're actually secretly still obsessed with my husband who I married who you used to date.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can just say your husband. And also, I'm not.
Yeah, and also then I would have continued to date him if I liked him.
Right, you can have him. I left.
Please keep him. Relevant comments. Commenter 1, you didn't start the fight and you left, so it wouldn't cause commotion at the wedding, not the a-hole. Is your cousin friends with the other girl? Because it seems like she's taking sides when she should be mad at the other girl for starting crap at her wedding. OP responds, yeah, they're friends, but I didn't know that until after the wedding. Commenter 2, shouldn't your cousin realize that this person is making up lies when she's saying you skipped graduation because you were jealous of her and ex being together? And the real reason you missed it was for your grandmother's funeral? Because she could put together that your grandmother did pass away. And was this grandmother related to the bride too? Opie says, no, she wasn't. We're related on my dad's biological side, but he's adopted. It was his adoptive mom that passed away and my mom's mom. She did know about the passings, but I don't think she knew it was when my graduation was supposed to be. Our families aren't that close. Commenter 3, not the a-hole. What is wrong with these people? I'd be very firm with everyone who had something to say. I attended my cousin's wedding, and my ex's new wife behaved like an unhinged lunatic, following me around. It became so uncomfortable that I had to leave because she was causing a scene. I have nothing to apologize for. OP says, I did point this out to my cousin, but she's still upset with me and says I probably should not have attended. But I didn't even know they were going to attend or that they were even married. Commenter 4 says, did your cousin invite you? OP says, she invited my parents, but they couldn't make it, so they asked me to go instead.
So, okay, so your cousin doesn't even like you in the first place. You didn't even get invited to the wedding.
In my culture, it's considered rude if I don't attend on my parents' behalf. Commenter 4 says, did she know you were attending on your parents' behalf ahead of time? OP says, yes. My parents already rang her mom to explain they couldn't make it, but I was attending for them. Commenter 4 responds back, in that case, your cousin knew who was going to be there and she should have determined if it might be a problem or not and addressed it beforehand. You didn't have the information to judge that. I don't know why your cousin's friend wouldn't just ignore you for the sake of her friend's wedding. What a psycho. OP says, I'm not sure if she even put that together until she saw us at the wedding. It was so long ago and I haven't thought about it since it ended. But the wife is a bit strange for holding on to a year-long relationship between 18 and 19 years old. Commenter 5 says, sounds like neither your ex and your wife nor your cousin were actually mature enough to get married, not the a-hole. OP says, I'm only 22 to be fair. My cousin is only a couple years older than me. OP on how the wife managed to locate her if OP moved tables. OP says, I mean, it's an Asian wedding.
Also, people have eyeballs and can walk around and see other people. Like, it's not like they had it in a labyrinth. Like,
right. She says there were at least 30 different tables. I feel like you could still see people.
yeah, it's like that commenter. Do you know how tables work?
And we have an update
How could
2
you-
weeks later.
How could you have possibly found her if she switched tables?
You can't walk around the building.
I would be very
You have
careful.
eyes.
Be very careful with this woman because she clearly
He
is
has
a
eyes.
very skilled individual.
He's a witch.
She is trained in spycraft,
Witch.
possibly espionage, and may even have magical witch powers.
We have an update 2 weeks later, though.
Let's
Any
go.
thoughts?
I just want to know if your cousin is getting married to her first relationship.
I did end up contacting my cousin after reading through the comments on the original post. I waited a while because she was enjoying her honeymoon. It went better than I expected, to be honest. She did start off by explaining that she was upset at the wedding because she felt flustered about having people fighting at her wedding. It was her instinct to stick up for her friend. I mentioned in the comments that my cousin and I aren't very close, so it might sound strange that she'd opt to defend her friend over me, but it makes sense to me and I'm not mad about it. We pretty much squashed it and agreed that it would be better for the sake of our families to just agree that there are no hard feelings and what happened happened. Just to make life easier for events like this in the future. I don't think about it anymore. Most of my reaction to the situation came from everything happening so publicly. Once I was out of the situation and had time to cool down a bit, it stopped bothering me. I wanted to clear some things up too. Some of you were confused why I would be shocked that the wife found me during the reception. I forgot that white weddings are so small. There were between 700 to 1,000 people at this wedding, and like 70 to 80 tables, not including the bride and groom's table. It was a pretty big venue, and my cousin's table that I sat at was tucked away in the corner. Opie said 30 tables earlier. We just jumped to 70 to 80. That is way bigger than I was expecting.
That might be a little
Yeah.
bit harder to find somebody
When
in
she
the
said
midst.
30 tables earlier, I was like, that seems pretty standard. Nah, 700 to 1,000 people. That's wild. That's
Yeah.
gotta be a fun time.
Might be. Yeah.
That she tracked you down.
Yeah, she did. She had your scent.
Yeah. Speaking of, some of you are wondering why the cousin I sat with didn't say anything. She is like me in that sense. Getting involved just makes the situation worse, as we've seen with our parents, aunts, and uncles. And no, it wasn't a situation where the entirety of the hall stopped and watched. It was more of a situation where the few people around us were watching the situation go down. There were still people dancing, going to all the carts, serving different foods, etc. By the way, you can dance your way over to listen to full episodes with stories just like this.
Yeah.
Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts from. Search up OK Storytime and come dance with us.
Yeah.
We have just a little bit left, but sounds like everything's all good now.
How is one altercation between you and a kind of deranged lady going to ruin a wedding with like 1,000 people there?
Right. I wonder if the cousin would have even like known about it
Yeah.
if it was like the people watching stayed hush hush.
I don't know. Your cousin just doesn't like you, dude.
They
That's
said they weren't close.
really the big facts. Your cousin does not care for you for some reason.
Also, I don't know what side of the story his wife knows, nor do I care to know. It happened 3 years ago. I realize my account of this may be biased, so I take accountability for that. I think naturally we tend to only see situations from our own point of view. We have some top comments.
That was very poignant and relevant and astute observation, OP.
This is OP on why there was a large number of guests at the cousin's wedding. This is standard for Asian weddings. If you're not a close member of the family, you're not generally expected to give gifts. You'll just give a small amount of money to the couple, like less than 200, as a gesture of wishing them a blessed marriage. Commenter responds, as for why your ex's wife came at you, I can't help but wonder what kinds of stories and signals she's getting from your ex. Maybe he idealizes you, or maybe he's tried to make you the devil and blame you for everything that went wrong in your relationship. Maybe he's telling her that you're obsessed with him and following him around in person and on social media. That is the end of that story.